I can't believe I had to come out of retirement for this. So I've been sick for the past week or so. I put this on my community tab. Very sick, kidney stone. I've had inflammation in my foot. I can't walk on it. And today I was going to make a video about the film Skinamarink, which is a video that I will make probably in the next couple of days. But this morning, I see a Jarvis Johnson video about Kevin, the female gaze guy. And I'm losing my absolute marbles over here. I watched a Film Cooper video on it just to make sure I got all of the deets on the situation, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and I'm not missing anything. So here, backstory before we really get into why this is just abhorrent, why this is just a terrible thing that's happening. I am a film production and film studies major college graduate. I do somewhat know what I am talking about here. I want to portray this in the least mansplaining way possible. I'm just trying to stick to the actual facts of the theory. First of all, really, the problem is overall that everyone is taking a term used in film criticism and applying it to TikTok POVs. What are you doing with your life? Why would you do that? There's no reason to do that. They're two completely different things. In a film with a female gaze, there are three people involved. There's the person behind the camera, there's the character itself, and there's the person portraying the character. In a TikTok POV with a weird guy with a fucking mustache, there's just one guy. He's making the video, he's scripted the video, it's just him. Therefore incomparable in the first place. But let's really once again get into it. And this is the most common misconception that I'm seeing, and it is making me just like want to bash my head into a wall. The female gaze is not an inherently romantic thing. I'm losing my mind. Okay, so the male gaze. In order to start talking about the female gaze, we need to talk about the male gaze, which is Laura Mulvey found that thing, and she stated the theory is that most films are portrayed and delivered through the lens of a heterosexual male. You see it constantly in basically almost 80% of movies that come out nowadays even, and back then it was even more than that, far more than that. But the female gaze, what y'all are seeming, TikTok is seeming to really be honing in on is, this is a man who is written by a woman who is responsible and doesn't seem like he would harm me and is really cool. And like, sure, that's part of the female gaze, definitely, but also, no. See, the thing on the female gaze that needs to be really focused on is subject versus object. In films that revolve around the male gaze, the woman is very, very often looked at as an object to be played with, hence why the Bechdel test is such a prominent thing, where, hey, do two women have a conversation about anything other than a man? No? Okay. In everything that they do, the woman is looked from the male gaze. The woman is looked as an object to be used in the titular male's game. And that's something that happens very often, very often. But in the female gaze, the female is a subject in the movie. She has more agency in the film. She is her own being, own person, own decisions, and represented as such. That's the key. So if you look at it in that way, the female gaze can be applied to so many different things. The way that a man, so for example, think about a Little Women movie where instead of showing a bond between four sisters that's unbreakable and the ups and downs and the troubles and turmoil, that even though there are boys involved, it solely basically revolves around the four of them. Imagine one where it was all about Laurie and fighting over him and pillow fights and a bunch of heinous bullshit. That is the female gaze compared to the male gaze. A dude so many things are involved. The cinematography, the way that the women are portrayed on screen, the way that the men are portrayed on screen in dynamic with that. Think about Raw. There is a film called Raw from 2017 that I think does a very great job at portraying the female experience in university through the female gaze. Think about Titan from the same director. I think that is also a very female gaze-centric film. I just can't believe it. I can't believe we are bastardizing this term so bad that this random guy with a mustache can talk about the language that he's using in his POVs isn't even very female gaze centric. He's like, I wanna, if I love you, we F for life to low lyrics because I'm relatable to women. No, you're not, my guy. You're not. And then, of course, he's got the, problematic background because, of course, every man that tries to manipulate women in that way or succeeds in manipulating women that way definitely has some type of problematic background or backstory. It's crazy, man. Every single time, especially on TikTok. So this is just, I know I'm a little incoherent, but this has just really been bothering me so much. There's so much more to the female gaze than just the way that men are portrayed. And frankly, the fact that that's the only thing that's being highlighted is sort of male gazy. It really is. Of course, the men would want the men to be the subject of the female gaze. I know that that's a significant part of it, but no, there's definitely just more to it, and it really bothers me that TikTok is, you're using a film criticism term on TikTok. Please stop. Please. And it's not that I think that film is superior to TikTok. It's the point that you are taking two completely different art forms and mediums and trying to mesh terms and subjects together in a way that just does not work. There's so much more nuance that works in a film than it does in a TikTok. Please just stop doing it for the sake of everyone, really, for the sake of not confusing people and then having to make them look up things and thinking that they have a breadth of knowledge that they don't, and just misapplying terms. It's just really bothersome. And this Kevin guy, wow, man. I know I really haven't talked about him that much, but what a piece of work. What a real piece of work. Dude sucks really bad. That's my whole rant on this situation. I know it's short, and I know it's not coherent, and I know that it's just me being very bothered about things. But keep in mind, this is all one take, and I just had to get my thoughts out there. Ultimately, I guess the thing that I want people to take away from this video is that the female gaze is not directly about male characters being written in a non-threatening way or being presented in a non-threatening way. The female gaze is about women having agency and women being treated as subjects instead of objects. The way that men treat them in these films directly relates to that, but it is just one of the subpoints that comes back to that main point. So don't treat it as that. It's not what it is. And if you are going to try to apply it to a random TikTok guy, do it better just for the sake of people having an understanding of the actual subject. Here are some really contemporary films that I enjoy that use the female gaze. A Girl Who Walks Home Alone at Night, like I mentioned, Little Women, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Raw, the Farewell. And once again, these aren't all just romantic female gaze subcategories. It's all encompassing female gazes. I think that The Farewell is a very astute observation on the female gaze in regards to how family dynamics are handled. But let's stop applying it to random men on the internet who talk about weird shit on TikTok and just stare at you. And that's the whole thing. And that's it. And then act kind of, I didn't really get into him as an entity, but we can do it. His whole thing is that he looks and he's kind of quirky and then gains like a sudden moment of confidence and then goes back to being really quirky again. That's not the female gaze. Please stop it. You are doing a disservice to a term that has brought forth so much progression in the film community. You like those films that I just mentioned? The female gaze is part of the reason why. Recognizing that there's an inherent bias in the mold of heterosexual male filmmaking. All of this progress has been made, and you're trying to take it away from a random dude on TikTok who you're kind of thirsting after. Just stop it, and you won't remember him in another month, please. All right, so that's it for this video. Sorry if I sounded a little, condescending at the end, but it's really bothering me. That's about it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you in the next one, I guess. Goodbye.